What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Ducatel. So, anyways, happy Thanksgiving, first of all. And last week, I know that a lot of y'all missed me, so I decided to make a video this week. And this is just basically going to be a perspective, or my personal perspective on Bitcoin and why it has value. You know, what its original intent was meant for. And I'll be displaying that perspective through a video for you. So, I guess without further ado, well, let's get into it.
Now, as we've been discussing this morning, it is the financial provisions of this Emergencies Act that are particularly concerning to many. The federal government is saying banks have already started to freeze the accounts of people involved in the protests, and they are warning there will be dire financial consequences to come. Hillary Johnstone has been with us for that part of the story. Hillary, we were talking a little bit about this with David Common earlier, but let's explore it a little bit more because in the words of Chrystia Freeland, this will bite. What is the latest?
Yeah, that's right, Heather. That's exactly what we heard from the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister yesterday. We know that financial institutions are already moving to restrict access to both cash and cryptocurrency. That's another big thing here that we're watching as well. So the RCMP have been sharing information with these financial institutions on the protesters, their supporters, the organizers here, trying to sort of starve off or choke off access to money, which of course has now been funding this for some 3 weeks. And the government has cited terrorist fundraising laws, now directing financial institutions to target people who have perhaps donated. You were talking about that with David as well, that it's a little murky here, exactly how this is going to be applied to some people. Chrystia Freeland yesterday not saying how many accounts have been frozen, not saying whose accounts have been frozen, but certainly the threat is there looming for people who have been involved with all of this. We also know that some of these crowdfunding sites, such as GoFundMe, are going to have to register with FINTRAC, which is the government's financial intelligence unit. We're going to play a little bit more now. This is what we've heard from Chrystia Freeland about these measures.
All right, so you can watch the rest of that on your own. I will leave, like I said before, the links in the chat. But actually, you know what? Let me go into this article first. This was the original company, Nunchuk, who ended up replying to the Supreme Court of Justice over in Canada. All right, so this is their tweet. They posted it for us. Dear the Ontario Superior Court of Justice, Nunchuk is a self-custodial, collaborative, multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. We are a software provider, not a custodial financial intermediary. Our software is free to use. It allows people to eliminate single points of failures and store Bitcoin in the safest way possible while preserving privacy. We do not collect any user identification information beyond email addresses. We also do not hold any keys. Therefore, we cannot freeze our users' assets. We cannot prevent them from being moved. We do not have knowledge of the existence, nature, value, and location of our users' assets. This is by design. Please look up how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we will be here to serve you too. Sincerely, the Nunchuk team. Now, first, I want to point back at the video where it mentions something along the lines of, you know, how they want to kind of see these people as terrorists, right? The freezing of donations going towards a peaceful protest. Now, I know that government is meant to basically be elected by the people, for the people. And in this case, I don't think I'm seeing anything that's consistent with that idea. You know, so when you have power over people, obviously that comes with a lot of responsibility. But in this case, it seems like they're enacting this emergency act for something that doesn't seem to seek the best interests of the people. Now, personally, based off this this quick experience with Nunchuk, you see how they ended up approaching, replying to the Supreme Court of Justice by basically just telling them, like, look, no, we can't give you the information of our customers. And the fact that, originally they were meant to freeze bank accounts, freeze, GoFundMe's, things like that, and freeze cryptocurrency accounts, it just goes to show that this is how powerful things like Bitcoin can be. Right? This was its original intent. Right? This is where I believe the value, or one reason amongst many other reasons why there is value in things like Bitcoin. I believe that Bitcoin is basically a tool for freedom, right? And I ultimately believe that, basically freedom is meant for everybody. It doesn't matter what color you are, or, or religion you believe in, whatever. You should be able to have the right to not only fight for your freedom, but, to simply just obtain it, if you live in a free country. And, obviously freedom isn't something that you just come by for free. So in this case, if you do fight for it, as you've seen displayed, through this tweet, you see that you can fight for freedom in a very peaceful way. And even more peaceful than, what people were doing with the truck convoys, who decided that they just didn't want to, go with this vaccine narrative for the mandates, right? In this case, it's more peaceful than that, because all you have to do is decide with your pockets. In this case, you're deciding to, hold on to digital assets that allow for you to keep, full control of your own wealth, essentially your livelihood. Now, the way I see it is that, in this case, if you really want freedom, if you want to live free, if you want to be free, you want to, fight for freedom, essentially, without violence, Bitcoin is one of the best ways to do that. And I hope that you can understand this perspective. This is just one of many different perspectives, but this is one I believe that needs to be talked about more often. And I hope that you can get a better idea of where I'm coming from, at least. And moving forward, if you guys have any other questions, like I said, I'll post links and things like that in the chat. And I guess this is going to be the point of why we have this little group, so we can kind of just have discussion about things like Bitcoin, and well, we'll see what stems from there. For now, I enjoyed talking to you guys, and peace out.